professionalism and consistency has to improve, and it is. Our standards are not going to change, and our expectations of how fast we want that to improve for him are not going to change. But he's got to get better at it. He has to take ownership of it. The other stuff will come along with that. That leads into the weight room. Your professionalism, your consistency, your approach every single day. He's getting stronger. He is gaining weight. That's a big part of his improvement, is getting his body physically prepared and ready to handle the rigors of a physical position. Then there's some nuances of doing things defensively and playing stronger with more force offensively. We're working on those things every single day. The league, I think is the best big man coach and mentor in the league, and they're spending a lot of time hitting, pounding, lower, stronger, more physical. We saw a piece of it right here at the end. That's what we feel like we do. We feel like, also giving them the structure to grow and embrace becoming a pro, learning how to be a professional, every single day, being early, having a great energy and countenance every day. How you do anything is how you do everything. He's.
Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Q, man, back at y'all again with another video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. Hopefully you guys are having a blessed day today, man. Happy Sunday to everybody out there. But I had to get on here today, man, and talk about Kelel Ware. Now, we all know who Kelel Ware is at this point. 14th overall pick last season by the Miami Heat. It's supposed to be one of the bright spots to this rebuild that we're currently involved in. I know a lot of the front office probably doesn't want the fans to feel like that, but let's just be honest with our situation. We're kind of in a rebuild, and Kelel Ware is supposed to be one of the driving forces of that rebuild. And lately, man, I know I talked about this on my last video I did with Kaz and his summer league performance, and I said that Kelel Ware hasn't necessarily been playing up to snuff. Not really looking as dominant as I'm pretty sure the Heat coaches and the front office anticipated him to be, especially considering the fact that the Miami Heat recently just had an opportunity to try to land a Kevin Durant trade. And I know the Phoenix Suns were asking for Kelel Ware in the trade package, and Miami refused to give him up. And Kelel Ware did say something about he just wanted to make sure that the Miami Heat front office knows that they made the right decision, so he's going to try to work as hard as possible. And I commend him for it. That's really what you're supposed to say as a young player. You were potentially almost involved in a trade that could land a generational talent like Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? Usually in trades like that, nobody's untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Especially Kelel Ware. I mean, we know he had an okay season last year with us. 9 points, 7 rebounds. That's not terrible, but definitely room for improvement for sure. But yeah, man, apparently Kelel Ware hasn't really been playing up to speed in the summer league, and it's been on full display from what I've seen. Hasn't had a 20-point game yet, and this is his second year in the league now. The last game he played, he had like 10 points, 6 rebounds. The game before that, he failed to exceed 10 rebounds. And I'm just going to be the first to say this. If this is the guy that we're expecting to be next to Bam Adebayo for the foreseeable future, we're going to need to see a little more from him, man. Especially in Summer League. Don't get me wrong. I know it's Summer League. I get it, bro. But Kelel Ware, you should be able to average 20-some points a game without even trying to. I mean, you're the 14th pick in the draft. Um, you were you had some pretty good games last season as well in the NBA. You've played in the NBA already, so you already know how this shit go. Like the only guys that should have excuses for not playing well in the summer league is guys like Kaz and the undrafted people. But as far as Kelel Ware, man, you gotta be a little more dominant, man. But Spo called him out today. And I just want to go over what Spo had to say about Kelel Ware. So Eric Spoelstra on Kelel Ware, the professionalism and the consistency has to improve, and it is. Our standards aren't going to change. He's getting stronger, gaining weight, and learning how to be a pro. But he's got to take ownership of it, and the other stuff will come along. Okay, so what does this necessarily mean now? Spo did compliment Kelel Ware, and he did give him props on putting on more weight and more muscle during the off season, and that's one of the biggest things that Miami Heat fans had with Kelel Ware. Like one of the big issues with him coming out was he needed to put on a little more size. He was kind of pretty skinny for the position that he was playing, and also his motor. What happened at Oregon where he had to transfer because the coaches didn't really like the type of effort he was putting into the game, and then he transferred to Indiana where he had a breakout season, and he ended up getting drafted. So the motor for me has always been a thing. It doesn't matter if it's summer league. It doesn't matter what type of organized basketball you're playing at this moment in time. The Miami Heat would really like to see Kelel Ware do a lot more than what he's actually doing, man. And we know what Kelel Ware is capable of. You know what I'm saying? He's capable of dropping 20 something points and 10 rebounds a game. He's capable of doing that, and he should be more than capable of doing that in the summer league. You know, but we'll have to just wait and see what happens with Khalil. Do I think that this is gonna keep him from being the starter? I don't think so. I think Kelel Ware he's for sure going to start alongside Bam this upcoming season unless something crazy happens where, Spo's trying to send him a message or something happens to where he would not be a starter next season. But I right now can't see it. If you're talking about fit, us needing more size on the team in general, I definitely think that Kelel Ware is going to be a starter. But it's just something to it's not. I'm not gonna take too much out of this because it is just summer league. But maybe Kelel Ware he prefers to play NBA ball, but because he didn't really have a bad, like I said, he didn't have a bad season last year. It was just when we got to the playoffs, he got out hustled, man. He got out rebounded by Jared Allen, and you're gonna have your welcome to the NBA moment at some point, but it's just the way that it looked. It looked like he just tried harder than Kelel Ware did. That's kind of what left a bad taste in the Miami Heat fan base's mouth. It's like he wasn't really out there trying to be physical or trying to be in the trenches and all that. And I think those things will come with time. But as of right now, the motor is definitely something that the Miami Heat are still working towards. They're still working on. It's a work in progress. The tenacity, the ability to be able to go 100% for the whole 48 minutes. We haven't seen it yet, so that he still needs to work on that. But I think Khalil's gonna be just fine, man. He just has to stay the course. You know what I mean? Put the work in, he'll be fine, man. He had an okay season last year, like I said. And I'm definitely expecting him to have a better season this upcoming year. So, I'm expecting at least 15 points, 10 rebounds. If Kelel Ware can give you 15 and 10 next season, that's more than enough improvement in my eyes. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about Kelel Ware, man. And like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Y'all know the vibes, man. I'm out. Peace.